And you want to replace them ahead of time so that you're operating from a position of strength and not a position of weakness.
This is the Thriving Dentist Show with Gary Takis, where we help you develop your ideal dental practice.
Develop a done-for-you marketing plan that consistently provides X number of new patients each month. X number of new patients each month. Now, I'm using the generic term X for the podcast interview because I don't know enough about each one of our listeners' practices to actually plug in a number. But in our coaching work, we actually define that number. We define that number. And let me tell you how we define it. We define it by the number of new patients that come into that practice historically because you were in network. So for example, let me just use an example that actually is an example within our client base today. This was a solo doctor office, was solo doctor, one doc, and 30 new patients a month came into his practice because he was in network collectively in all the different plans. Delta, Travelers, this was a dentist that had 14 PPO plans. And historically over time, 30 new patients a month came in because he was in network. And so the number that we put in there for his done-for-you marketing plan was 30. And here's why that's so important. Because then he or she has already replaced the source of new patients by marketing as opposed to being in network. You've already replaced it. So if he or she was seeing 30 new patients a month collectively from the 14 different plans, as soon as he has 30 new patients a month from digital marketing, where they're choosing them for reasons, because he's influencing them, he's independent from the insurance because he's replaced them already. Now, he still wants to retain as many existing patients as possible, but he's already replaced the flow. So that's how you can calculate that. Go back and calculate historically how many a month, and that becomes your number to replace with the done-for-you digital marketing plan. So that's number one. And you want to replace them ahead of time so that you're operating from a position of strength and not a position of weakness.
Makes total sense, Gary.
And Aaron, let me just ask for your comment on that, because you're the marketing wizard on this. Am I thinking along this the right way? And is it the right priority to lead with this?
Absolutely, it is. Only comment I would make is I think you added a buffer, because an insurance patient is only paying 40% less, right? So 30 insurance patients are equal to, if I were to do the math, 18 non-insurance patients, assuming they're all paying full price versus the insurance guys are paying 40% less. So yeah, I think if you're getting 30 new patients who are not choosing you because you're not in their insurance, it's like, almost time and a half what you would if you were to get 30 non-insurance patients. So I think it's a great place to start.
I'm so happy that you did the math, because you're absolutely right. If you're writing off 42%, you could see 20 new patients and be better off. But You're right. I put a buffer in there, as a way to, sort of propel the practice to new levels of success, and leave it to the math guy to figure that out. Thank you, Naren. Thank you, Naren.
One that provides personal, professional, and financial satisfaction.